Hey guys and gals, this is 17th of November of 2024. This is your host Joe, Life with Yosef, and here is the latest update for my hopeful move down to Bullhead City. First off, I'm going to start to call what I was naming the Hideout 2. I'm going to call it the new Hideout. And I was having a brunch last week with my mom and my cousin from Elko and her daughter, and I kind of said, hey, I'm going to start to call you OG Cuz because of all of my grandparents' grandchildren, meaning me and all my cousins. I'm the oldest, and she's the second oldest. So to me, she is my original cuz because she was next after me in the cousins. So anyway, I I on the fly said, I think I'm going to start calling it the new Hideout, like New Jersey, New York, New Hampshire, and for you Californians, Northern Californians, New Albion. So I think that's what I'm going to start to call what I'm hoping to purchase. 137. It is now the new Hideout. I got the mold report from Ed, and he was very thorough, and a lot of it's pretty complicated, but the gist of it is in the United States, you take an outside ambient mold reading and then you take an inside ambient mold reading. It's all air test, and they have to be pretty comparable, and mine is. So there are a couple of places where I think a good cleaning, maybe crumbs or something were left, and you don't sweep that stuff up, you get mold. So I basically said, is this a deal breaker? And he said, well, if you read the report, you're going to see that here's the chart, and yeah, you could move in. And there are, if you want to address a few minor things, we had a good long talk. He seems to know what he's talking about, and Sierra speaks highly of him. So he said that the Swiffer type test, he said he doesn't think I have to do it. Now, he's a professional, so how much he holds as they're valid or not, I see his point, and it was $400. So he said I don't need to do that because he did the air test right next to where the repairs were. And so there you go. So I'm pretty confident that the mold is not an issue. And you know why I'm tweaking about the mold? Because I have to leave a denier because of the mold. So I think I got that under control. I've also got the encroachment and the easement issue resolved. At least I'm happy with it. And Sierra says, okay, this is how it is. It turns out that the seller's, hold on, Jesus, dude, declaration was not in any way accurate. And I got a report from the HOA. Sierra got it, and I have it downloaded, a PDF. And the easement is on each side and the back. It's 3 feet on each side between 138 and 136, and then 10 feet off the back. Now, if you look at the plat map, which I'll put in right here, you're going to see that the property line is right at the end of the patio. Now, the easement is 10 feet in from that. So it's not 6 inches on the shed. It's 10 feet. It's the shed and the patio, and the structure itself on at least one side, I think on the west side, is encroachment on the utility easement. Okay, but the HOA has signed off on it, and so I'm going to acknowledge it. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, I guess they could, make a stink one day. But I looked at the Google Maps, and you even see next door. Well, they have the patio right up to their lot line too. So I think there's an awful lot of people in there with the same type of encroachment. And remember, the HOA is, voted in by the property owners. And I don't think it's a big deal. And I don't know enough about this, but I'm starting to think that I've got adverse possession into the easement with the encroachment. So I think this is an issue that is pretty much resolved. But but what I'm disappointed about is we wasted at least a week and a half or 2 weeks because a selling agent did not do the job that Sierra and I did, and I really did, but Sierra did as well. You know, she went to the HOA, she got the inspection, she got the document. I called Mojave County and got just a bucket full of PDFs and microfiche sent to me. So I think that we, Sierra and I, Team Sierra, did the selling agent's job for them. And there's a saying, and I can't think of it. I'll look it up if it's here. That don't judge maliciousness if it could be attributed to incompetence, something like that. I don't think these people are malicious, but I really got to question just how good the selling agent is. They don't return calls. Now there's some type of secondary agent involved. Okay. So the encroachment and the easement, Sierra and I agree it's resolved. So 10-10 to that. Now there's a number of things about the inspection, but there's 3 safety issues, fire issues. The power cord from the AC, the heat pump, into the panel is not the correct kind, though the report says a lot of people down there uses a particular type of power cord. He recommends that I replace it because it's really should be. It's not the appropriate one, even though a lot of people have it. So, okay, that's one safety issue. The second safety issue is in the electrical panel in the park model, and that's really what it is. It's a park model. He recommends that one of the breakers I swap out for a more modern type of breaker, and I'm going to ask him, well, how much is it just to swap out the entire panel? Because hell, if I'm not going to do a half-ass job here, and electricity and fire is nothing to be toying with. And I've already had one mobile home burned to the ground, burned down. I'm not looking for another one. So that's the second thing of the safety issues. Now the third thing is the dryer vent is crimped. It's not the appropriate construction, and there's no, or pinched, I think a better term is. There's no hood on the outside where the hose extends out to the hole in the wall where the dryer vents. There needs to be a little hood on that, and I'll see if I can't put that in here. And the HOA inspector noticed that too. So these are the 3 things that we're going to ask the seller to either remedy, or I'm going to ask for them to reimburse me, and I'll fix it. I don't have a bid yet, but we're working on this to actually be able to support, hey, it's, I don't know, $800, $1,100, whatever it is, that we could support it. Now, if the seller balks at this, now this is poker. A lot of life is a poker. And those of you who know me know I use sports, business, and poker analogies often enough. And I know how strong my hand is. I know how strong their hand is. They want to sell. We want to buy. Neither agent makes a nickel unless the transaction happens. So everybody's on the same page, but it's a matter of, okay, whose hand is perceived to be the stronger hand? It doesn't matter how strong your hand is, at least right now. It matters how strong the other side perceives your hand. And that's a lot of what poker can be. Now, I'm certainly not a poker expert. I don't have that much math skills, but I watch it. The plaintiff and I used to watch it, and we went to the casino to play poker, and it's how do you sell your hand? So if I I'm willing to settle for, I'll pay for everything. The hold on, my brain's on mush. The comps run between 121 and 161, or 125 and 161. So I'm at the low end of the comps, and they're throwing in the golf cart. And outside of the 3 safety issues, there's odds and ends, loose stuff, trim needs to be tightened up, a bit of paint. They had a rented water softener, and that's gone. So that needs to be capped, and we need to address that in the exchange of disclosures. I'm going to disclose everything because, and Sierra's on board with this because that's what you got to do. This is business, and not disclosing could really open us and or them up to liability. So they didn't do their job on a great much of this disclosure, but we're going to follow up with the disclosure because I really want to buy this place. And bluntly, my bottom line is if I have to, I'll pay the $129 and I'll get the safety stuff addressed myself and I'll pay for it out of pocket. Now, I'm also going to recognize that the roof and the AC heat pump are probably 18 years old and they're nearing the anticipated end of their 20-year lifespan. Now, I know this and I'm not worked up about that. It's like when you buy an older car, let's say you buy let me screw this on here. Let's say you buy a car with 160,000 miles. Maybe it's a Toyota or a Honda, and it should last a good long time. But you're gonna, not be surprised if the starter fails, if the alternator fails, if the fuel pump fails, if the AC compressor fails. You just have to expect some of that stuff when you buy, a 10 or 20-year-old car with 150 plus thousand miles on it. I think it's the same thing here. I know I'm going to need to replace this. I know I'm going to need to address the roof. I'm going to need to get the place, the outside painted. I'm on board with all this. I don't have to do it right now. So I don't want it now. If you're going to ask me, well, why don't you just buy a lot and have a brand new a new park model put on? Is bluntly, it would be much more expensive, and I don't want to spend that much money. Like the lots were $50,000-$60,000, and the sales dude at the Clayton home said, well, it's in the low hundreds to have one actually. Hey, come here. Hold on. Dude's having a cow. The neighbor 2 spots over here had their dog out on the leash or the tether, and dude, he's very protective. He will absolutely go to the mat for me. God love him. In fact, the other day he was so happy to see me when I got back in the truck for something that he did a little tinkle on the seat, and it's like, he ain't no fake friend. I want my friends. I want you to be so happy when you see me that maybe you do a little bit of the dribbles. God love my dog. Freya, favorite dude on the hunt, now and in the afterlife. I can't think of anything else about the new Hideout. I think we're on top of things. The mold report, the structure inspection, he checked the washer, the air conditioner works, the water the water heater too is also nearing the end of its expected lifespan. But I think these lifespans are for full-time living, and I don't think anybody was down there full-time living. Not the people who I'm buying it from. They're from Canada. They're going to come down in the winter and they're going to go home this summer. They're going to be snowbirds. And last year they rented it during high season. So I don't think it's being used all year. And bluntly, I don't know if I'm going to use it all year either. I have thought about, leaving by April to go travel. And now I'm starting to think, depending on how I feel, I just may sit and rest. I'm going to tell you, my mom, when my dad died about 2.5 years ago, my mom talked about, having to be careful about widow's brain. And she ain't lying about this. And I think I've got widower's brain because God Almighty, I lost my phone. I lose my phone just multiple times a day. It is just, why do you think I wear my keys around my neck? Because I'm an idiot. So I, uh, I, we're hoping to close on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I need to be down there because I need to do the walkthrough. If Sierra doesn't want to do the walkthrough for me, because if she signs off on the walkthrough and there's something wrong, I don't have recourse. So you may think, what could happen? Well, somebody made entry into the hideout because somehow the door opened up and they went in, and the excuse that Roxanne said was, well, maybe they thought you were having a medical emergency. I said, my truck wasn't even out there. My motorcycle hasn't moved in 14 months. I said, who made entry into my property, and what was their exigent circumstances that would override trespassing? She didn't have an answer. She didn't like that. So she wanted me to come out and take care of some of this. The windows are broken in the front. It's been broken for 6 months, 8 months. I know that. But you don't know it until you walk up on my porch, you walk to the door. And then she said, oh, it's been ransacked. Well, it's a mess inside. And no, I'm not going to show you the mess. It's a mess inside because at first I figured I'd deal with all this nonsense when I got back. Well, now that I'm never going to live in the place, I'm going to have it demoed next week. Why am I picking up trash? It's all going to go. It's going to get mowed down. So, God, I can't wait to be done with these people. And they shouldn't have made entry. So I got out there yesterday. I picked up a bunch of clothes. I've got more Ebbets Field jerseys than I thought I did. I remember. So I got them in the bed of the truck. I'm just going to throw them in the trailer. I got hopefully one more load, which I'll probably do tomorrow. I need to be on site between 1 and 5 for when PG&E comes out to cap the natural gas. TID is going to be out tomorrow as well to read the meter and lock the meter. And, oh God, dude, the flies. So I got laundry in right now. So I think that's about it. So I'm here. God, dude, one fly, I'm here till Friday, and I'm going to go ahead and leave Friday. I had some other ideas about maybe staying another week, but I need to do the walkthrough, and the selling agent said that the sellers were kind of uncomfortable when we asked for an extension on the due diligence. Now, I got to say, Sierra showed incredible restraint by not saying, well, you fucking idiots, if you'd have done your goddamn disclosure properly, you cost us 2 fucking weeks and we'd be done with this shit. But Sierra, you got to do business with these people, and you can't burn your bridges down. And this isn't the only time that she's going to be interacting with this other agent in her office. So sometimes, a decorum really is the better part of valor. So I am leaving on Friday when I'm done here, and they're really nice here. I like it here. At 1010, if you want to stay, join Passport America because you'll get their rate. I think it's half off for up to a week. So it already paid for itself. So there you go. So my idea is I leave Friday. I probably am going to make reservations at Davis Camp arriving Tuesday. And since I don't know if I'm going to be able to quite move right in exactly that day, I'll probably stay a week. And then I'll start putting stuff in. I've got stuff that needs to go into the shed. I've got a bunch of clothes and other nonsense. I need to get it set up enough to where I can start living in it. I need to buy some sheets for the king-size mattress, probably a topper. I saw a weighted blanket for the king-size bed. I've had a weighted blanket in the past. I think I'm going to have one again, one that I'm not going to so easily kick off. And so I'm hoping to close a week from Wednesday, and I'll take the keys and do the walkthrough. And then probably over Thanksgiving weekend, I'll start, I don't need to press this, now there's no hurry, but I'll get all this nonsense out of the trailer, the stuff I need to put in the shed for now, the clothes and stuff, I'll sift through at my own leisure, hang up a bunch of the baseball jerseys and my clothes. It's got built-in drawers. I didn't bring all my clothes because I don't need it all, so I'm working on this. So that's what the plan is. So now we're going to go to the clothes, if I added in something or not. And this is, as always, your host, Joe, Life with Joseph, the saga of the sudden forced move out of the hideout, hopefully into the new hideout in Bullhead City, Arizona, in Mojave County. I'm hoping this happens. Dude, I just can't begin to, you hear me say it, but this is really wearing on me. This just needs to end. So hopefully it'll end a week from Wednesday. I'll get all my stuff in over the next 4 or 5 days. I'll worry about all this when it comes. And we'll take it from there. So this is your host, Joe, Life with Joseph. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. And dude, the 15-pound mini poodle of terror and I will see you for the next one.